Hi everybody. So I'm currently in the process of making a new puppet, and basically it's a continuation of my elf character that I made. Um, this is Vina. I made this puppet back in like 2018, 2019. Pretty much another glorified sock puppet. I wasn't very experienced with a lot of building, with puppet building then. So when I was putting on his hair, I started basically from the top or from the front, and I was working my way down. So while his hair does look, kind of full, put him upside down, you could see his entire head back here has no hair at all. So now that I'm remaking the puppet, we're going to change that. This is the new skull for the new Vina, and there he is. My process with making the yarn hair is pretty much like taking a whole bunch of yarn. I have like brown. This is the actual original yellow yarn that I used for Vina, and this is a needle that was sticking in the middle of the. That must have been long lost. Oh my god. It's an old needle. Always check your yarn in case you accidentally use it as a push pin. Finally, I have black to get like kind of a dyed look, and I've been basically knotting it the same way. I was cutting strands of yarn 3 at a time and knotting it at the top, as you can see there. Basically, my process is going to be to start this time from the back of his head, so like there, and working my way up. Hopefully it looks a lot better. Hopefully it looks a lot fuller. I have like bags of it, as you can see, and hopefully it's enough. The color scheme I'm thinking of doing right now is I'm gonna do some of the natural brown yarn towards the bottom, and then the black on like the top to give sort of like a peekaboo sort of hair color look to it. I can probably put a picture up and post. I'm pretty much just experimenting with it and seeing how it goes. Let's get started. Pardon how messy my room is at the moment. It's always this messy. But I had to get a separate table to use for a surface to show you guys what I'm doing. I have Vina's head. I'm going to start like down here with the strands from this kind of yarn. And I have my white thread. And so I'm pretty much just gonna go for it, I guess. Cue the time lapse. Alright, so the first layer is done. As I was sewing in between, I was going like, so the needle going in, coming out, putting one strand by the knot, like putting the needle through the knot, and then as I was going back in, I would add another strand. So there's like 2 strands and there's like spaces in between. So I'm actually thinking I could comb these down to like make it look a little bit fuller and maybe even like kind of stand up a little bit, give it a little bit more extra volume, and then just kind of continuing from there, keeping it close, and hopefully it like looks a little fuller. It actually does, like, even though this is just literally one layer, it is actually starting to look like something. So part of my concerns were either like, do I have enough yarn for this? Do I have not enough? Do I have way too much? Am I gonna have like a bunch of extra if I just start cutting it all into strands? And like, is it gonna be like enough to cover his hair? Like, how full is it? Is it gonna be too thick, or is it gonna be too thin? Like, is it just gonna not look good? And I'm kind of hoping that this means that I have enough for it, and that it might be a little too thick, which it's better if it's thick because then I could cut it rather than having to like glue it or like add more or something. But yeah, so back to work, I guess. Alright, so I ran out of thread in the middle of and I also ran out of like a stack of hair that I had, but it's a good thing that happened because I could show you guys. So this is just one layer, right? That's one layer of hair, and this is the second layer of hair. So I mean, it's not really showing up on camera, but you can definitely see it's like a lot fuller. So I'm gonna continue with this. Next time I cut, I'll be ready for the black. So the brown's gonna be all the way here, and is going to be like on his sideburns, like just starting his sideburns. So yeah, this should all be brown, and then black will be on top.
Hello everyone, it's your Uncle Herbert. Please leave the video a like and a comment if you're enjoying, and please subscribe.
Alright, quick update. I just finished the 4th row of hair, and I have run out of the pre-made yarn knots, so I have to go and make more, and it is definitely not enough yet to get up to where I want it to be. Maybe like probably four's there. Oh, probably like 6 more to get up to this part right there, to get up to where the ears are. And then I'll start with the black. If this is only 4 rows, it's very thick right now. It is getting very thick. As I upright the mouth now, my hand wants to stay open like that because of how much it's starting to weigh. But hopefully it's not, I mean, it's probably not going to be like a lot where it's like now I can't shut it if like he has all his hair, because also he'll have hair acting on this part of his thing like that, you know, like his bangs and stuff and the hair on the top. So it won't be all pulling back like where he's like, you know, I can't keep his head up. And I'm definitely not worrying about it being thin now or looking thin. I'm worrying about whether I have enough yarn.
Hello everybody, it's Harbert again. Harry forgot to film the time lapse again, can you believe it? Anyways, did you know that the surface of the moon is actually more explored than the bottom of the ocean? That's pretty fascinating, isn't it?
So it's about 4:30 now. I started this at noon, but I've been doing other things since then. But I have finished the entire yarn, the entire spool or bundle of yarn. This is how the hair looks so far. So it is definitely looking full at this point. It's kind of unmanageable. And then this is the back. So I haven't gotten too far up. But yeah, now I have no choice but to start with the black and hope that it doesn't run out. Like I'm trying to reach the seam there. So that's going to be like where his widow's peak is, and then his hairline's going to go down and then like that around. If we get there, we get there. If I don't, I don't. I have to go out and grab more. But I do like the look of it so far. I don't know if it's going to work with the black, but I do like this color. So I guess we'll see how the black looks. Hello everyone, this time I actually remembered to film a time lapse. So I'm just putting the black on the same way I did the brown, just kind of threading the knots in through each other like with white thread, and that's how it came out. Kind of a little patchy, but of course it's only the first layer, so it should be fine. So here's what it looks like, 3 rows of the black in. It's looking okay, it's just like it's getting very heavy, and I'm just like so caught up in the fact that I ran out of the brown yarn so far. And I think it might just be because the rows are very densely packed. So I'm gonna cut it all off. So yeah, I had to cut off all the layers, and yeah, it left me with like a single layer of hair on the bottom, and I also left the sideburns. And my approach at this point was just to make it a little more spaced out. So that's me putting on the second row of hair, and yeah, so that's me brushing it through. It still was kind of thick, but it wasn't as thick as before. It wasn't as heavy as before. It was definitely a lot more spaced out, and overall was definitely a good idea to cut it all off and do it on the second try. Didn't really harm the fabric at all, so I'm really happy with how it's gonna turn out. Now it's the next morning. It's like 11 o'clock. I was up last night until like 11, and yeah, I finished. This is the final product. I'm actually kind of happy with it. I got the brown up to like this part, but before it was like up down there, and then I started with the black, and I soon started to run out of the black, and I was like, okay, let me intersperse the yellow in between as kind of like a highlight or like a dyeing kind of thing, you know, like maybe he like dyed it a couple of colors, and it actually came out pretty nice. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the final product. I just have to now make him a body, and he should be pretty much done. So thank you guys very much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. So here are some pictures I took after the whole hair process. That's the head with the hair on my work surface. And then of course I gave him a neck. I just made like a tube of fleece and sewed it onto the bottom of the head, and I tried posing the head a little bit. Then I added a torso, and that was pretty much just like another sleeve. I put a foam insert for the chest, and then I added some more fleece on it. And then I made the arms, and the arms were a whole different process with like making shoulders and separate parts for the forearm and the hand and things like that. Then I made the hands, I put them on rods, I made the fingers posable, and there is the final product. He didn't have a shirt at this point, but I just wanted to try to pose him and things like that. Look how cute he is. He's very cute.
And yeah, like look at him doing the the poses. Yeah, so that's me trying him with the poses, and I think it came out really well. I definitely like the final product. The shirt, I'll have to give him another shirt. That's one of my old ones, and it's obviously way too big for him. But yeah, thank you guys very much for watching, and hopefully Vina will be in the next video.